My brother Liam and I saved the richest man in the city. He gave us two choices: take $10 million or marry his daughter. Rumor had it the billionaire's daughter was hideously ugly. So Liam immediately chose the $10 million. Unexpectedly, the daughter turned out to be talented and beautiful, and after we married, we lived in perfect harmony. Meanwhile, Liam squandered the money, got into trouble, and ended up permanently disabled. Jealous of my good life, he drove his car into mine, killing us both. When I opened my eyes again, we were back on the day of the choice. He beat me to it, choosing the marriage contract this time, but I just smiled. $10 million was far better than marrying a psycho. There's $10 million on this card. Which of you wants it? Soft music played in the upscale downtown Chicago restaurant as the billionaire Richard, smiling warmly, pushed a bank card across the table toward Liam and me. We'd saved him on the street when he had a sudden heart attack, using first aid knowledge we'd learned. As thanks for saving his life, he offered Liam and me two choices: take the $10 million and consider the life debt settled, or marry his daughter, who was getting on in years. Last time, I expected him to make the same choice as before, snatching the car with the $10 million. He did pick it up, but then he turned and shoved it into my hands. Little brother here feels like settling down. You take the $10 million. Richard's eyes darted between us. Then he smiled at me. Think carefully now. Let me be blunt. My daughter has a reputation for being unattractive, and her temper isn't the best either. The billionaire had said the exact same thing in our previous life. I looked into his eyes, then at Liam, and let out a soft chuckle that grew into a wide grin. Not all, sir. My brother is a deeply affectionate and devoted person. If he and Miss Olivia end up together, they're sure to have a sweet and happy life. Since our last life, right up until my death, I had always indulged this only brother of mine. Whatever Liam wanted, I did everything in my power to help him get it. So, when I said those words, Liam showed no surprise at all. His look even seemed to say, "Good, you know your place." I pocketed the bank card, looked at Liam, and sighed dramatically. Little brother, don't forget to give your big brother a good life. What a touching scene of brotherly love. I suppressed my inner excitement, playing the part of the good older brother, describing Liam's personality and temperament to Richard, embellishing everything, making the utterly ordinary Liam seem extraordinary. The image of a good man was thus established. After finishing, I gave the smug Liam a long, deep look, a cryptic smile playing on my lips, and said my goodbyes. Liam, you've been reborn too. Our parents died in an accident years ago, leaving me to raise a young Liam through hardship. We stumbled along, truly enduring a period of intense poverty. After getting used to sharing a single cup of instant noodles between us, hearing the figure of $10 million was staggering. Last time, before I could even react, Liam had forcefully pushed me away, almost violently, snatching the bank card with $10 million. Back then, Richard had also made disparaging remarks about his daughter, and Liam had believed him. Clutching the card, his eyes shone brightly. Ethan, I care about looks. I don't like ugly girls. I want to take this $10 million and live the life I want. Hearing Liam's words, Richard's expression had darkened immediately. After all, it was his daughter. He could say whatever he wanted, but as a father, he certainly didn't want to hear anyone else speak ill of her. I keenly sensed Richard's displeasure and slapped Liam hard on the back before starting to apologize profusely to Richard. Little did I know then that slap had already planted seeds of resentment in Liam's heart against me. From that moment on, whatever I told him not to do, he deliberately did. Street racing, gambling, all sorts of expensive and life-threatening extreme sports. He would try them despite my vehement objections, justifying it with, "This is the freedom I pursue. You have no right to control me." The mentality of the nouveau riche led him to blow through the $10 million in no time. Then he started borrowing money from me. By then, my own business was starting to take off. Since he was my only brother, despite my frustration at his lack of progress, I couldn't help but soften. After scolding him, I'd always give him money to spend. It wasn't until waves of debt collectors showed up at my company, holding IOUs personally signed by Liam, that I realized just how reckless the brother I had cherished for years had become. The amount was astronomical, far beyond what my fledgling company could afford. Swallowing my anger, I decided I wouldn't bail Liam out anymore. But when I saw that severed finger marked with a small red mole delivered to my company's doorstep, I still couldn't suppress a pang of pity and heartache. Left with no choice, I turned to my wife and father-in-law for help. To outsiders, my life seemed blissful. But in reality, I was walking on thin ice every day. My beautiful wife, contrary to rumors, had a terrible temper and was an extremely controlling person with mental health issues. My father-in-law, outwardly gentle and refined, was actually a fool who doted on his daughter excessively, agreeing to whatever she said. I presented the IUS to my wife. She generously transferred the money to me, but made one demand. I was never to meet anyone else alone except her. For Liam's sake, I agreed. From then on, my wife and I were inseparable. Gradually, I figured out how to navigate my relationship with her. After enduring periods of frustration and pain, I felt like things were slowly improving. But then Liam reappeared. His leg was already disabled, wearing a mask of fake goodwill. He claimed he had turned over a new leaf and wanted to visit our deceased parents' graves with me. I agreed. Then, sitting in Liam's car, he drove us at high speed into a guardrail on the highway. We both died out of the restaurant. Liam was standing next to Richard, smiling at me, but his smile was laced with a hatred carried over from our previous life. From a distance, I couldn't hear his voice, but I read his lips. Ethan, this time is my turn to live the good life. He seemed utterly convinced that, by making different choices than before, we would still end up with our previous fates. But he would never understand. Those who don't truly know themselves are doomed to fail. Liam, let's wait and see. In my previous life, my budding business was ruined by Liam's absurdity. This time, with $10 million in startup capital and the experience from last time, I was 90% confident I could make the business thrive. But the most crucial thing now was to find the right people to help me. I walked towards our parents' cemetery. Last time, my business partner Sophia told me she had an accident here once, losing sight in one eye. I thought if I timed it right, perhaps I could save her. As I neared Graceland Cemetery, I didn't see many people. Just when I thought I might have remembered the day wrong, noisy shouting echoed from within. Back and forth curses, both male and female voices familiar to me. I paused, then frowned and quickened my pace into the cemetery. The graveyard, predominantly gray and white, should have possessed a solemn, respectful atmosphere. But not far from my parents' gravesite, I saw Sophia surrounded and harassed by a group of men in black suits. Standing at their forefront was Liam. "Liam, what are you doing?" I shouted angrily, running forward to pull Sophia behind me. Liam wore a playful smirk and whistled at me. "Good morning. Ian, just came to see Mom and Dad. Happened to run into this young lady. Thought I'd get to know her. Liam said it casually, but I knew he was harassing Sophia because she had scolded him on my behalf in the previous life. And he held a grudge. I raised an eyebrow, took out my phone, and dialed the number I knew by heart from the last life. "Liam, do you remember you're engaged now? The Sterling family fortune is worth billions. Are you willing to fat?" As I finished speaking, poised to hit dial, Liam stepped forward, grabbed my wrist, and hissed through clenched teeth. "Ethan, I just came here to pay respects to our parents." Our parents' gravestone was clean, with no sign of any recent visit or offerings. I placed the flowers I was holding in front of the grave, bowed reverently, then turned to meet Liam's gaze. "Liam, this is how you pay respects." Liam's face grew even uglier. He violently kicked a bodyguard beside him. "Why didn't you prepare anything for me? If I didn't think of it, couldn't you? Useless." I watched him throw his tantrum for a moment, feeling oddly bored. How could someone so brainless be my brother? I took the arm of Sophia, who had been standing quietly like a frightened chicken, and turned to leave. "Will he give you trouble?" Sophia's voice was husky as ever, but her eyes held undeniable worry. After being killed by Liam once already, was I still afraid of his trouble? I shook my head. He wouldn't dare do anything. I picked up my phone, stopped the recording, saved it, and then played it back from the beginning. Liam's teasing, playful voice filled the air again. This should be enough to give him a headache for a while. Then I clipped the recording and sent it to Olivia Sterling. Sophia nodded, offered sincere thanks, and then asked, "Why did you save me?" "Because you will be my most important partner." The live streaming industry was just beginning to boom. Like last time, Sophia and I signed several streamers who would later become successful. We planned to invest most of the capital in marketing them, launching a few top-tier streamers to grab a share of this lucrative market. The industry was incredibly profitable, but the initial investment required was substantial. The $10 million dwindled quickly with almost no profit generated yet. Just then, the wedding invitation for Liam and Olivia landed on my desk, placed there by my assistant. Inside the bright red envelope were names embossed in gold foil. Liam and Olivia side by side, written in a wild, unrestrained cursive script. "Mr. Hayes, your brother is also waiting outside for you." My assistant hesitated but reported truthfully. "Liam," I nodded, about to make an excuse not to see him when a commotion erupted at the door. Sophia and Liam were arguing. Before I could stand up to check, Liam burst in, dragging Sophia by the wrist. "Ethan, you already lectured me once because of this woman, and now you've let her into your company. Don't you know that because of her, Olivia?" Liam's voice cut off abruptly. His slightly distorted expression changed upon seeing my face, morphing back into that arrogant look. I raised an eyebrow. Liam barging into my office like this is really rude. "Bazadasia, a woman possibly to you. Let Sophia go first." I gestured for my assistant to leave, and she tactfully closed the door behind her. He pulled Sophia over to my side. Liam's gaze flickered between Sophia and me for a moment. Then a knowing smile spread across his face, but he didn't say anything about it. Instead, he turned and picked up the invitation from the desk. "Ethan, do you know how much our wedding cost? From the outfits to the venue, $15 million. And that doesn't even include the jewelry Olivia and I will be wearing." All told, Liam pretended to think for a second, then had a sudden realization. "It's probably around $130 million. All that money just for our wedding. The $10 million you took, it's nothing in my eyes. So I just barged into your office. What can you do about it?" As Liam spoke, his eyes glinted with arrogance. I didn't show any anger. Instead, I let out a laugh. "Liam, your wedding costs so much. Your father-in-law must really trust you." "Huh? Did he mention anything about his company?" "Maybe later." I gave him a meaningful look. From the way Liam's expression gradually sobered, I knew he understood my implication. He said nothing more and hurried away. "Ethan, what did you mean by saying that to him? If he really manages to get some power in the Sterling family, you'll never be able to catch up, not even by sucking up to him." "Get power in the Sterling family?" I looked at Sophia, then scoffed. "He will never get what he wants." Both Richard and Olivia Sterling were intensely possessive and controlling people. Anyone who dared try to take a piece of the power they held would meet a miserable end. Last time, after my own company went bankrupt, I found myself idle. Aimlessly, I thought about helping my father-in-law and wife with their business. But the moment I offered a suggestion, my usually somewhat gentle wife's face changed dramatically. She immediately signaled the bodyguards standing by the door. A dozen men surrounded me, gave me no chance to resist, and dragged me off to the punishment room. That was the first time I knew the Sterlings had such a place. Dark, damp, terrifying. The whip, tipped with tiny barbs, only needed to lightly brush against my thigh to draw a string of blood beads. Olivia, the one wielding it, had a smile on her face. She licked the blood spatter from her cheek, her resulting grin both bewitching and frightening. That scene clung to my memory like a parasite, never blurring across 2 lifetimes. Looking through my office window at the busy employees below, I secretly made a resolution. Since the terrifying memories couldn't be forgotten, why not uproot them entirely? Be bolder. Replenish. Time flew by, and Liam's wedding day arrived. To show off everything he now possessed, Liam arranged for a fleet of luxury cars to park outside my apartment building. Row after row of Porsches left me slightly stunned. A driver opened the door of the lead car for me. Liam leaned out from inside. "Ethan, I came to pick you up personally." "Are you sure?" Look at my life now. Isn't it even better than yours was last time? I wasn't surprised Liam knew I had also been reborn. My movements largely followed the pattern of my previous life. I smiled faintly, playing along. Indeed, it is. Last time, I don't think I even had a wedding ceremony. Clearly, you're more valued. This made the curve of Liam's smile stretch higher and higher. He practically vibrated with glee. Last time, you just watched. This time, I'll climb to heights you could never dream of reaching. Considering you didn't fight me for the marriage contract, maybe I'll be kind enough to help you out in the future. I closed my eyes, pretending to rest, my smile fixed in place, and murmured, "Well, thank you for that, little brother." The motorcade moved quickly, and soon through the window, I saw the lavishly decorated wedding venue. I was seated in the front row for the ceremony. Liam, dressed in a white suit, waited at the center of the venue, occasionally tugging at his collar and cuffs, feigning nervousness. When the wedding march began, Liam's eyes were fixed on the direction Olivia would come from. My gaze followed his. A priceless haute couture wedding dress enveloped Olivia's graceful figure. Her face radiated a happy, innocent smile, and her eyes, looking at Liam, were full of love. Such good actors, both wolves in sheep's clothing, each more savage and disgusting than the last. That these two ended up together, it was hard to say whose karma it truly was. "Olivia, father-in-law, please entrust your precious daughter to me." Olivia's delicate hand was placed in Liam's. He bowed his head to kiss it, then straightened up, pulled Olivia into his arms, and kissed her fiercely. Standing on the stage, he couldn't see Olivia's eyes clearly, but I saw it perfectly. Beneath those curved, watery eyes hid a deep, bottomless disgust. Thunderous applause erupted from below. Most people were shedding tears over the performance of happiness while I alone lowered my head, took a sip of the wine before me, and then resumed my composure, clapping along with everyone else. I didn't stay for the toasting part of the reception after the ceremony. I wanted to leave quickly. Liam tried to keep me there to continue showing off, but the moment my eyes met Olivia's, the hair on my neck stood on end. It was a chill that ran bone deep, a feeling lingering in my heart. As I was trying to hail a cab outside the wedding venue, I was stopped by bodyguards. Olivia, arm in arm with Liam, stood before me. I took a step back, frowning. "What is it, Liam?" "I have things to attend to at the company." Liam looked equally baffled. He turned to Olivia. "Honey, Vatvong, darling, aren't you going to introduce us?" Olivia's gaze swept over me from head to toe. That chilling sensation returned. I clenched my teeth, my jaw aching slightly, my eyes fixed on Liam. Liam looked back at me, but his eyes were filled with suspicion, as if I were the other woman trying to break up his happy family. "Honey, this is my braza." Liam emphasized the words biological brother. Olivia let out a no, her usual eerie smile appearing. "Well then, hello, brother." That smile was identical to the one she wore the first time I was locked in the punishment room. Just then, my phone rang. I pulled it from my pocket. It was Sophia. "Mr. Husvio, there's a contract that needs your review." This call was nothing short of a lifeline. Without a second's hesitation, I promised to head back immediately. Olivia again, "Brother, if your company needs anything, feel free to ask me." Liam's face turned sour. I didn't want to deal with him anymore, gave a perfunctory nod, and turned to leave impatiently. Behind me, I heard Liam complaining, "Honey, why did you want to talk to him?" A gust of wind blew past, and I heard nothing more. But I knew Liam would definitely not have an easy night tonight. I rushed back to the company. Sophia breathed a sigh of relief when she saw me. "I thought your brother might have held you up, so I came up with an excuse to call you back. Thanks for the call. Otherwise, who knows when I would have gotten back today." The office space was the same one I rented last time. Only here could I truly relax. For me, this place, my company, was my home, the place I felt safest. Lying on the office sofa, Olivia's meaningful gaze kept flashing through my mind like a predator intently watching fascinating prey. Several days passed without any news from Liam. Messages I sent him vanished into a black hole. He seemed to have disappeared. Just as I was staring at my phone, debating whether to probe further, Liam called. "Ethan, can we meet?" "Huh?" Liam's voice trembled. "I frowned to tell you." "All right." I hung up and saw the address he sent to my phone. It was normal enough. A tea house in the city center, quiet amidst the bustle, a favorite spot for the city's upper-class elites. I pinched the bridge of my nose and texted back, "Pick another place." No particular reason except that this tea house was owned by the Sterling family, managed by Olivia. The way Olivia looked at me that day made me very uncomfortable. I didn't want to set foot in any establishment associated with the Sterlings. Liam agreed quickly. My weariness eased slightly. But before leaving, I still informed Sophia and my assistant of my whereabouts. Olivia was crazy. Who knew what she might do? The coffee shop was empty except for a dozen or so bodyguards blocking the entrance. Liam's attendo. I tentatively stepped inside. The bodyguards didn't stop me. Instead, they opened the door wider. When Liam saw me, his arrogant expression returned. Before I could speak, he raised his voice. "Ethan, look. Olivia assigned me so many bodyguards. She cares about me so much. She even wants to give me half the operating rights to Sterling Industries." He had lost weight, his face was pale, and his normally pink lips were dry and chapped, as if he hadn't had water in a long time. Seeing him like this, it hit me. It seemed he had already visited that disgusting punishment room and experienced some punishments that weren't painful, but deeply torturous. I raised an eyebrow, pretending not to notice his wretched state, glanced at the table, and called the waiter, "Vaughn, please." Then I looked at Liam's empty spot. "Liam, aren't you having anything?" Liam visibly swallowed, but just glanced at the menu. "I'm not thirsty, you go." I understood immediately. So they weren't letting him drink water. No wonder his lips were cracked. The coffee arrived quickly. I took a sip, paused for a moment, then finally spoke. "Why did you ask me here today, Liam? We're not the close brothers we used to be. Last time, for Liam's sake, I was controlled by others and eventually killed by him. This time, he got what he wanted. Why was he seeking me out now?" The words Liam had seemingly intended to pour out got stuck in his throat. He paused, then forced that victor's smile. "Ethan, I heard your company ran into some difficulties. Maybe I can help. I know I was too impulsive last time, but since I took what was originally yours this time, I thought I should compensate you somehow." "Compensate?" "Yes." With that, Liam pulled a bank card from his pocket, his smile somewhat fawning. "Here, take it for your cash flow." Was Olivia really that generous with Liam? I pushed the card back. I already accepted the $10 million from the Sterlings. During the back and forth, my hand brushed against Liam's heavily wrapped wrist. He instantly recoiled with a hiss of pain. As if trying to cover something up, his voice grew louder, sounding increasingly defensive and insecure. "I'm trying to be nice. Don't be shameless. This is from both me and Olivia. Tillon is snorting to me. I'm just pitying you. If you weren't my brother, I'd feed this $30 million to dogs before giving it to you." Ungrateful. His sudden tirade caught me off guard, but I wasn't made of clay either. I stood up immediately, ready to leave. If I still held any hope for this brother right after reincarnating, it was completely gone now. He was rotten to the core, beyond help. Why should I bother caring about his life anymore? The moment I stepped out of the coffee shop, I heard Liam call out, "Ethan." But I never looked back. For the next while, I completely cut off contact with Liam. Even the Sterling family quieted down. No news from them either. But Liam, true to form, went from silence to making a huge splash. When he reappeared, it was as the CEO of Sterling Industries, having replaced Olivia. However, at the press conference announcing his appointment, his expression wasn't exactly happy. It was rather grim, even sinister. In contrast, Richard Sterling, who did all the talking, wore a smile that never faded. At the very end of the conference, the Sterlings dropped a bombshell. Olivia Sterling, the sole heir, was 4 months pregnant. The Sterling family had an heir. The room erupted. Sitting in front of my computer, I had just taken a sip of water and sprayed it all out. Liam and I had reincarnated less than 4 months ago. Therefore, the child in Olivia's belly absolutely could not be Liam's. A massive public humiliation, being cuckolded like this in exchange for a figurehead CEO position stripped of real power by Richard Sterling. "Liam, Olivia, how are you feeling right now?" News of an heir to the Sterling business empire was huge in the financial world. Soon, Pictures of Olivia flaunting her baby bump were everywhere. Though Liam was conspicuously absent from her side, the media, adept at sniffing out scandals, started circulating rumors of marital breakdown. The Sterling Group's soaring stock began to fall. A series of clarification statements seemed useless until the stock hit rock bottom. Only then did photos emerge of Liam accompanying Olivia, shopping for baby items. In the pictures, Liam was half kneeling, pressing his ear to Olivia's pregnant belly with a warm smile. Olivia looked equally happy, smiling playfully. Judging by the photos alone, they looked like a perfectly happy family. If it weren't for the threatening messages from Olivia and the pictures of Liam's bloodied, battered body on my phone, I might have actually believed it. Liam's photos were sent to me by Olivia. His body didn't have a single patch of unharmed skin. He was covered in bleeding wounds, making it impossible to even tell what kind of instruments were used. In the video, Liam was already trembling from the pain. Screaming only earned him more blows, so he had bitten through his lower lip. Olivia sent me more messages. "Ethan, why didn't you choose me this time? I don't like this useless idiot. Didn't you know that he wasn't good to you last time? Last time for you, I even went behind my father's back to abort this child. Do you really not understand how much I love you? Then we could be together again. I won't mess around anymore, and I won't hit you again either." A string of voice messages arrived, but I didn't listen to any more. A chill had completely enveloped me. My fingernails dug into my palms. The pain was the only thing keeping me calm. When had Olivia been reborn? I remembered the look she gave me at her and Liam's wedding. So, she had her eyes on me since then. I lowered my gaze, saved the photos and videos of Liam being abused, and then without hesitation deleted Olivia's contact information. Last time, I was manipulated by you. This time, I absolutely will not be. For the next 5 or 6 months, the media relentlessly portrayed Olivia and Liam's overwhelming happiness. During this period, I threw all my energy into cultivating the talent under my wing. While we didn't achieve monumental success, we did produce one reasonably capable streamer. All the effort felt worthwhile. Liam's social media feed became like a daily check-in, morning, noon, and night. He posted updates about Olivia's pregnancy. Today was different. At 1 o'clock in the morning, he posted a picture indicating surgery was in progress. Wife's finally giving birth. Hope neither she nor the kid makes it. I liked the post, but didn't comment, but Liam immediately called me. I answered, "Ethan Hayes, do you have any idea what kind of life I've been living these past few months? Isn't this what you chose?" Liam sounded manic on the other end, his laughter filled with a desperate, crazed edge. "Yeah, but last time you were so happy, a harmonious marriage. You didn't even have this cuckolded humiliation. Why did it turn out like this for me? Ethan, I'm begging you. Can we switch back on break, just like last time? Okay, I'm begging you." Liam screamed, his voice thick with resentment. It felt like if I didn't agree today, he would try to kill us both again. "Liam, last time for your sake, I went through all this too. Back then, I never complained once. This time, you're doing it for yourself. What's there to resent? You want a life of will. You wanted power. You wanted a beautiful life by your side. But did you ever stop to think if your own abilities match those desires? People with ambition but no capability can only end up in increasingly miserable situations." I scoffed. "Little brother, your wife is in the hospital giving birth right now. Whining to me is useless. You'd be better off sucking up to her, begging her to make your life a little easier." His voice on the other end was shrill, constantly calling my name. I hung up mercilessly and immediately dialed Sophia. "Sophia, doesn't the company have that science communicator streamer? Get him to the hospital now. Olivia Sterling is giving birth. Liam is cornered and might pull something. Send him there. If he can capture anything revealing during a live stream, all our company's streamers can add fuel to the fire. It's time for a change in the live streaming industry. Have all streamers direct their traffic to the Science Communicators channel. Everyone gets a piece of the pie today." Sophia was highly efficient. Soon she sent me the location confirmation from the hospital. The Sterlings were powerful and wealthy, but they couldn't exactly stop people from seeking medical care. My streamer checked in and started wandering around the hospital, conveniently explaining the latest hospital procedures to some elderly folks online. After touring various departments, he finally reached obstetrics and gynecology. The entrance was swarming with bodyguards. A fleeting glimpse in the live stream showed Liam hunched over on a chair. Sharp-eyed viewers instantly recognized Liam's face, frequently seen in financial news, and demanded the streamer stay put to watch Olivia's delivery situation. The streamer obliged and stopped near the entrance. Before long, Olivia was wheeled out. A doctor holding a swaddled infant asked who the father was. Liam stood up, pushed past the bodyguards, took the baby, examined it closely, then suddenly lifted the child high, poised to slam it onto the ground. I was on the phone with Sophia and immediately told her to cut the live stream. That single moment captured the audience's full attention. The science communicator's follower count surged exponentially. The top streamer in my company also posted on social media. Just one photo, Olivia abusing Liam. The blurred mosaic was unable to hide the gruesome, bloody reality. Instantly, trending topics across all platforms were dominated by the Sterling family. Every streamer I had signed, big or small, was put to use. I had them release all the evidence of the Sterling's crimes I had gathered over time that could be made public. Richard Sterling's long-term funding of an orphanage was actually a front for child exploitation. Olivia, known for her pristine reputation, was actually involved in heavy partying, drugs, and gambling. There was nothing the family didn't touch. The entire internet exploded. Police cars streamed in and out of the Sterling mansion, uncovering troves of illicit items, diamonds and gold bars of unknown origin, massive sums of unaccounted-for money, and that horrifying punishment room filled with various torture devices. When Richard and Olivia were taken away, they were surrounded by layers of reporters. But Olivia's eyes still held a defiant, unyielding glint. She looked straight into the camera, as if meeting my gaze across the distance. Except now I was no longer afraid. Seizing the opportunity, I, like an ant, had shaken a giant tree. The Zaculosal Sterling empire collapsed instantly. The live streaming industry developed rapidly. As Sophia and I seized opportunity after opportunity, my company quickly replaced the former Sterling Industries. Using the streamers to sway public opinion, I pushed myself into the public eye. Everything was made nearly transparent. Any misstep on my part would lead to utter ruin. This kept me constantly vigilant. Neva Fodgeting's downfall. My last visit to prison was to see Liam after he killed Olivia's baby at the hospital that day. The Sterling family had locked him in the punishment room. His fingers, his toes, none were spared. He was in a far more wretched state than last time. When he saw me, he wept uncontrollably, apologizing profusely, repenting. I shouldn't have taken it from you, Ethan. Can we please start over one more time? The beautiful wife. Just get me out of here, please. Liam's mental state had completely deteriorated. He was frantic, deeply disturbed. As a good older brother who cared for his sibling, I couldn't bear to see him suffer like this. Coincidentally, Olivia had applied for medical parole because her C-section incision had reopened. Perhaps my brother could also go to the hospital for treatment. As I pondered this, my young assistant took action. By evening, Liam was at the hospital. At that moment, Olivia was sitting in the courtyard, staring blankly at the dark night sky. Liam appeared in the hospital. The stumps where his feet used to be made him unsteady. But it didn't stop the raw power fueled by intense hatred from erupting. A Vedinist broke free from the police and attacked Olivia. Without hands, he used his wrists to pin Olivia down forcefully, then clamped his teeth on her neck. Blood spurted instantly. Olivia flailed helplessly, trying to push him away, but the intense pain robbed her of strength. I put on my sunglasses and turned to leave. I had endured Olivia's abuse in the last life and died alongside Liam. This time, I had seen enough of this dog-eat-dog fight. Whether they lived or died now, how they lived, that was their own fate. As for me, it was time to restart my